Welcome back to Texas Stadium in Irving, where the North enjoys a 6-0 lead over the South. The North could be a lot better for them, but they have had a couple of kicks blocked, an extra point in the field goal. The South, meanwhile, has created yet another turnover and takes over once again in great field position at the 40-yard line of the North. And Michael Howard to give. And exploding through the hole there is Antonio Parker out of Alabama State. And he picks up good yardage. Call it about 8 or 9 on first down. Good way to start a drive for the South.
Real good start to this drive. It's a nice little trap executed up front. Right guard pulls, gets himself a nice little kick out block right there. Then it's off to the races for a talented running back in Antonio Parker. Rayfield Adams, who a lot of people feel is going to be in somebody's NFL camp. He's got a pro-style type body, 6'2", 330 pounds. Depending on what he had for the pregame meal, he's the guy that trapped and led the way for Antonio Parker up front.
Parker averaged 4.3 yards a carry for Alabama State this year, and picking up good yardage on that play. And Keith Dean, the fullback, takes the handoff and gets what appears to be definitely a first down. If no flag is dropped on the play, and I don't see one on the field, so call it first down yardage as Cedric Liddell brought him down.
You know, nice adjustment by the Grambling coaching staff, Eric. They've had problems running the football, so they're going to the quick hitters, traps, quick dive to the fullback. Nothing that's going to take a lot of time in the backfield because their offensive line's being overpowered a little bit. So, hey, Eddie Robinson and his group of coaches, they haven't won over 400 games for nothing.
All right, officials stopped the clock a little bit here. There's been a delay. We had a North player injured on the field, but he walked off under his own power.
I think we had a malfunction. Yeah, the clock was malfunctioned. They just reset it at 25 seconds. It was down to 9 seconds prematurely.
So, first down, 2 plays. They get a fresh set through the South, and there he is again. A big pop, though, after Antonio Parker picked up 7 more yards on the play. I think he might have got his mouthpiece knocked out on that hit, but he picked up good yardage on first down once again.
Oh, is that trap? That trap? And you got a running back, Antonio Parker, that was slobber knocked a little bit, but his right guard, Rayfield Adams, made a nice trap block again. And boy, look at that hit. And the mouthpiece came flying out of there, and down goes Frazier. Man, that was a shot right there.
Billy Jenkins, they like him out of Howard, the strong safety, making another big hit on the opposite number 22, Antonio Parker, who gets the handoff again, gets through the hole, gets down inside the 20 and close to first down yardage once again before Ronnie Wilkerson brought him down.
Well, this is a very critical drive for the South right now. They get good field position as a result of a defensive takeaway. They're going to have to get some points out of this because they didn't have a first down in the first quarter of this football game. They were in single digits everywhere in terms of total yards, so this is their opportunity to strike and get back in this game. They're only down 6 points, but they've been manhandled up front a little bit. If they can put a field goal at least or even pump it in the end zone and convert an extra point to take a lead, it'd be a huge momentum builder for them.
If they fall short here, they do have an excellent place kicker in Carlos Leach out of Southern. Had a long of 52 yards this year, and now we have a timeout on the field taken by the South. They're going to discuss what play they need to run here on third down and short. Michael Howard going to talk things over with Eddie Robinson and the Grambling assistants. We'll be back with a key third down play for the South when the Freedom All-Star game continues in a moment. Welcome back to Texas Stadium, where the North leading the South 6-0, and Dave and I are joined by the man whose brainchild became this football game and an important game it is, Ken Free. Ken, welcome up to the booth. And
good to be here.
Talk about how this thing really got started.
Well, you know, we did it when I was commissioner of MEAC. We tried to do this all-star game to make sure that we could get some the kids that go to the small schools and historically black colleges into a postseason game to enhance their efforts. It's their efforts.
Enhancing their efforts and really get noticed on regional and national.
Exactly. And
so on the third down play, Antonio Parker doesn't get much yardage on the play. That'll force a fourth down as we come back to Ken Free. Now, the game took a hiatus after '89, and now it's back this year. Talk about some of the ideas that went into bringing the game back?
Well, I have some associates, Backstreet Entertainment, and of course Barnes Associates. We got together and said, hey, let's try to bring the game back and make sure that these kids have an opportunity to be seen at the postseason and maybe enhance their efforts to get into the pros. So we got our heads together, and then we started organizing. And of course, it was recommended that we try to bring it to Dallas, and that's why we're here.
And hopefully it is back to stay on the fourth down play. Antonio Parker out of Alabama State darts and gets first down yardage down to the 15-yard line of the North. A key play on fourth down.
I think that's a good call. You know, it's the first time they've been in the scoring zone, in the red zone, to take advantage of a scoring opportunity, and you got to capitalize on it. Nice pull, a little trap, little counter from the backside. Backside lineman get around in pretty good shape. Fumbled the football, but it bounced right back up into his lap. So the South finds themselves in pretty good shape here, 1st and 10.
So Antonio Parker, Ken, out of Alabama State, providing a spark for the South that needs one right now, even though he doesn't get much there on that first down play.
It certainly does. They need a little spark, but I think that they'll settle down and play a lot better.
Big collision coming up on here on this play, and a miscue on offense, Dave.
Yeah, you get an assignment error. Both guards pulled. They're in the Hall of Shame right there. they both pulled and collided in the backfield. Only one obviously was supposed to pull. The right guard shouldn't have. The left guard should have, but there was an assignment error, brain cramp, that kind of disrupted the play, unfortunately.
Call it a loss of a couple on the play. Make it 2nd and 12. Inside of 5 minutes to go here in the first half. And Howard getting away from some pressure, and he finally gets down to the 15-yard line. Ken, we need to know just one more thing before. Okay. Is the game back to stay now? Because, as you said, it is a very important game for these athletes from these historically black
I think it is because, you know, the success of this game starts on the field. Then we come up, and these kids are on television thanks to Fox, and that's where it starts. So we feel we're successful, and then maybe in 2 or 3 years we'll get to that level of fan participation that we think we should be. But I think it's back for good now.
Okay, Ken Free, making some dreams come true down there.
Right.
We do have a few scouts in attendance today looking at some of the talent, and it's because of the brainchild of the man that joined us up here in the booth, Ken Free, that this game is a reality here in 1997, and I'm sure the kids appreciate it as well.
No question about it. The South right now is penalized for holding on that particular snap, Eric, so they find themselves 2nd down on a bunch at the 30-yard line. But you know what? You got to admire Ken Free, because what's wrong with living a dream? And right now, how many people get to live their dreams? And right now, Ken Free's living a dream, and that's great. So are the kids. That's
right, providing an opportunity for them to showcase their wares before NFL coaches and scouts and before television audience as well. As Howard back to pass, going deep over the middle and overshoots his man. He was looking for Kylie Brown out of Texas Southern over the middle of the field, but overthrew that one just a bit.
It did, and you know, one thing that you can't afford if you're the South, if you're getting a little mismatch up front, you can't afford any mistakes. They have the holding penalty that threw them off schedule, and there's a pretty good throw. I mean, the coverage is decent enough. Brown didn't have an opportunity to run underneath that one. Not enough air under the football by Howard, but you know, you find yourself in a 2nd and 20 or a 2nd and 25. Now you find yourself 3rd and 25, and they're pass rushing like crazy against you. It's tough to get off schedule like that and make a big play.
He was going to make sure he didn't underthrow that one like he did earlier in the game, where it was picked up. Another screen set up to Antonio Parker, and Parker gets it inside the 30 to the 27 before Michael Thornton brings him down. Michael Thornton out of Florida A&M University.
Well, one thing you want to do is make sure you gain a few yards, because you got a field goal kicker with a howitzer hanging off his right hip. Carlos Leach, that has made a 52-yarder this year. He's 13 of 19 field goals attempted and made, and he is long, of course, that 52-yard shot. He's got a very powerful leg and a very fluid, smooth kicking motion. Let's see if he can nail this 44-yarder right here.
So the holding penalty moves him back, and Eddie Robinson hoping the South can capitalize. 7 seconds on the clock, and they get one of the special teamers out on the field. And Carlos Leach attempting it from 44, and that kick is blocked. And this one picked up by the North, and there's some room. On the near side, he could go all the way, and he will. Nobody near him. Touchdown for the North. 66 yards on the play. Robert Johnson, it looks like, picked up the ball. It is Robert Johnson. And James Gibson, it appeared, got a hand on the kick.
Well, once again, the kicking game comes up huge. The South very late in getting one of their players on the field. Should have called a timeout. As when the player makes a mistake, you have to block inside out. And on the wing, there was a mistake. Let the inside rush man go free. He blocks the kick, Gibson, and then it's picked up by the inside linebacker, Robert Johnson, who shows some nice wheels down the sideline. 66-yard return. Gibson and Johnson, two linebackers, team up for a huge play in the kicking game again.
So it's an all-star game, and the kicking game tends to suffer. The special teams do, and we've seen our third block kick of the game. That one results in a North touchdown as Jason DeCour adds the extra point, and now the North goes up top 13-0 in the game. So setting up for the kickoff with a 13-0 lead, and had a few strange plays in this one. A high snap on a punt and a turnover on downs that the South committed earlier. And now the South gets a key field goal that would have gotten them right back in it blocked. And this one coming down to the speedy Jerome Young out of Jackson State. And Young gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line, where the South will take over and try to get something going. Ronnie Wilkerson made the stop on special teams. 13 seconds to go here in the first half, and Eddie Robinson hoping his offense can come up with something, at least another field goal effort that doesn't get blocked this time around.
Oh. A little bit early in the offensive line there. Quick start.
James Brooks out of Grambling, one of the lone backup offensive linemen, plays every position up there, but he forgot the snap count on that.
Yeah, James Brooks,
on the offense,
big 6'8" offensive lineman. He can play center guard, tackle. He's a deep snapper. That's where they think his career will pan out for him on Sundays. If you can deep snap, you can play a decade in the National Football League. That's a special teams, a true specialist position on special teams. There are guys, linebackers that can deep snap, and offensive linemen that can deep snap that make a career of it.
One thing Eddie Robinson has had to put up with this week, as we have a timeout called by the South squad, they're going to talk it over. One thing he's had to put up with is that all of his offensive linemen have had most of their experience playing the tackle spot.
That's exactly right. And you notice the North's offensive line, 3 of the 5 starters are from Howard. The South offensive line, every starter's from a different school. So there's not that familiarity with each other. I liken an offensive line to making a fist. There are 5 components to an offensive line, 5 components to making a fist. If you make a fist, you don't think about curling your 4 fingers and wrapping your thumb. It just happens involuntarily. When an offensive line's playing well, you don't think about what the guy's going to do next to you. You know what he's going to do. If you haven't played with each other, there's that uncertainty, and you have all those problems trying to sync it up and time things up.
All right, the ball spotted at the 40 as Eddie Robinson and company decide what they're going to do here. The 40-yard line with 13 seconds to go in the first half, and his team trailing 13-0.
Another problem that Coach Robinson had is quarterbacks didn't show up till Thursday. That'll hurt your timing a little bit.
And now, speaking of timing, we got people jumping offside as Cedric White was the first one across, but a couple of other North defenders moved. And let's see how the officials decipher it. Were they drawn off, or did they just anticipate the snap count and jump offside?
Yeah, they can't listen to that quarterback. And I didn't see anybody flinch up front, so I think this one might go against the North. And you got to watch the football. You can't listen to the quarterback. He'll get you on the string with that hard count, that voice inflection, non-rhythmic count. If the snap count's 3, instead of hut, 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 on a rhythmic basis, he'll give you the hard count. Hut, hut, hut. Just try to get you on that second one where you're antsy and not watching that football. When the football moves, you move. Don't listen to him.
All right, so first down at the 45 after the 5-yard walk-off, and Howard buying himself some time. Now he runs out of it as he is brought down in the backfield. Dwayne Robinson out of Virginia Union coming up with the sack, and that'll do it for the first half of play here at the Freedom All-Star Classic. That's the end of the first half with the score. The North 13, the South nothing. Halftime festivities continuing here at Texas Stadium as the North leading the South at the break 13-0. South has a lot of work to do. Let's listen to the legendary Eddie Robinson urge his troops on in the locker room here at the break.
We can't get back to the line. It's nice to say you came to a damn all-star game and you're an all-star game. Those boys are pushing you around. We ran up in here and the man just stepped up here. We couldn't even move. We can't even move. Hell, you're a good quarterback. You got to quit looking for running. Hell, you got to come on back here and set and throw that ball. And you guys got to run the pattern. We can't run a pattern because he doesn't have any time. He doesn't have any time. The people are giving us this. They back here when Hatchett made the jumping catch. All he had to do is that. All the man had to do on the slant pass. We called 6 to 6. It's 6, 7, 6, and we can't even get that. If we do it in a shotgun, just step back and hit.
And the legend, Eddie Robinson, spurring his troops on, and them to show up here in the second half and play some football and play like you are in All-Star Day.
Yeah, and Eddie Robinson, he hasn't won over 400 games for nothing. He realizes that up front, his offensive and defensive line are losing the battle in the trenches. And when you lose the trench warfare, you lose the entire war. And that's really been the story of the first half, that in the kicking game. High snap on a punt that caused problems, blocked extra point, blocked field goal for a touchdown, another blocked field goal. Special teams in the kicking game will cause problems to these All-Stars also.
I think after that encouraging speech and those encouraging words from Eddie Robinson, expect the South to come out here and really turn it up a notch here in the second half.
Yeah, I think you'll see them come out aggressively off the line of scrimmage. He's exactly right. I mean, a quarterback can't throw the football if people are in his face. Running back can't get anything started. I don't care. You could have Gale Sayers back there. If you don't have a starting point, if you can't get past the line of scrimmage, you have to make the first guy miss 4 yards in the backfield, you get problems.
All right, Dave and I will return as halftime festivities continue here at Texas Stadium. Halftime of the Freedom All-Star Game continues in just a moment. Out of Alabama State trying to make something good out of that messed up exchange there before he's brought down by Robert Johnson. Very little gain, if any, on the play.
You know, you referred to it in the first half, Eric. I think one of the problems that the South has is their offensive line. Every member of their offensive line played the tackle position. There's a face mask penalty on the North defense. It's going to cost them probably, that's a big one. It's a 15-yarder. It's a personal foul. Somebody reached and grabbed and didn't let go, and it's Mr. Robert Johnson.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. First down.
That's the gentleman that had the 66-yard touchdown return after the blocked field goal. See, John, now if you grab the face mask and get your hand off of it, they'll only make it 5. But, boy, he rode that face mask for quite a while, so that's why the 15-yard variety.
Big break for the South squad on first down and 10. Antonio Parker gets it again, and again he gets very little yardage trying to navigate some room off right guard.
Well, it looks like the North front seven's not going to go away. Now, I'm sure you heard Eddie Robinson trying to exhort his offensive line to try to reestablish the line of scrimmage in their favor. Well, Joe Taylor's no dummy. He told his front seven, you guys controlled the tempo in the first half. Don't make it any different the second half. Let's play just as hard in the second half as we did in the first.
The Grambling coaches, this coaching staff handling the South squad, really like Antonio Parker. They called him a breakaway threat, a threat to score anytime he touches the football. Here's a guy that rushed for 782 yards his senior season at Alabama State. And there's a rollout pass and complete to the far side of the field. The tight end, Nakia Edwards, on the reception of the Michael Howard pass, and that's very close to first down yardage.
Nakia Edwards, 6'2", 235-pound tight end. He's got some soft hands. Once again, throwing on the run very, very effectively is Michael Howard. He delivers that ball right between the 8 and the 4. Very catchable pass from Nakia Edwards.
And they do get first down yardage out of it. The ball now at the North 40-yard line, so the face mask penalty and a nice completion. Give them a first down, and maybe that'll turn things around here. And just as I say that, we get movement on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Keith Dean moving forward. The play still going on as Howard throws it, and it is intercepted, but knocked out of the hands of the defender who came up, looked like he had it. It was Angelo Coulter out of FAMU. Looked like he had an interception. And let's see how they decipher this one and what they come up with in terms of the penalty.
Boy, Keith Dean came forward in the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a legal motion. That's going to be the call against the South offense. Keith Dean broke his stance and lurched forward 3 or 4 yards to the line of scrimmage.
It seemed like the right end moved on defense as well, and I was wondering what they might have caught first there.
You can see the fullback lean forward, takes a few steps to the line of scrimmage, and then the defensive end jumped off sides on his movement, but you can't, forward motion's only allowed in Canada.
On the repeat of first down off the penalty, Howard throwing over the middle has Nakia Edwards out of Texas Southern once again getting back close to the original line of scrimmage at the 40. Darrell Fleith came up with the tackle. Fleith out of Hampton, 6'1", 225-pound linebacker, and his coach Joe Taylor is really high on him.
He really is. I guess defensive player of the year in the conference, and been a truly fine performer for Joe Taylor. And you know, both of these coaches, Eric, they probably cringe though when it gets near a kicking situation, either punting or kicking a field goal, because every one of them seems to have backfired.
You just saw the first pass on a first down play by either team in this game. They usually run it like they do here on second down. And that was Antonio Parker, who got just inside the 40. Didn't get much yardage at all on that play before he was brought down by strong safety Billy Jenkins out of Howard.
And once again, you see Billy Jenkins is very nosy to the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's the strong safety filling and making a play like a linebacker would. So I know that the South coaches are seeing this and seeing them crowding the line of scrimmage. You like to throw the football, but your protection has to be solid enough up front to be able to throw the ball.
Coach Robinson urged them to use that up pattern once again in this half. Let's see what they do here on third down. That one on the semi-rollout is caught by Jerome Young out of Jackson State. He'll be short of the first down by about 3 to 4 yards, however.
Take a look at the route run right here. Jerome Young runs a nice little pivot route to the sideline. Pretty good coverage. That's just a nice delivery of the football. Michael Howard put that ball right on the money because Angelo Coulter was in the vicinity, to say the least. That was darn nice coverage.
Young out of Jackson State, only 5'9", but has blazing speed and had 50 receptions, 8 touchdowns this year. And on fourth down, the South is going for it at the 35. 4th and 5. Howard to throw over the middle, has his man Nakia Edwards, and Edwards inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. First down for the South. Big play there on fourth down.
Well, Billy Jenkins went for he gambled and went for the deflection or the interception. And when he didn't come up with the football, he paid dearly. Nice little route run, and the ball's delivered on time. You see Jenkins trying to make a play on the ball. Goes right through his hands to Nakia Edwards and move the chains. Sometimes you gamble and it comes up snake eyes. Didn't get the deflection, and Nakia Edwards made the play. And Brian Pittman ends the journey of Nakia Edwards with a solid tackle.
So great shape for the South team as they get it at the 27-yard line, and Keith Dean turns it outside, gets it to the near side, and gets put out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So call it a pickup of about 4.
And you saw at halftime, Eddie Robinson was chewing on his South All-Star squad a little bit. He said, "You guys are all-stars. Start playing like all-stars. Let's get something done up front. So we got a good quarterback. Let's get him an opportunity to throw the football. And you've got good running backs. Let's give him some ground to take advantage of." And it seems like his troops are coming out and getting some more things done here early in the second half than they did in the first.
Dean pushed out of bounds at the 23-yard line. 2nd down and 5, and some more movement out there. The defensive line, Cedric White out of North Carolina A&T jumps offside and gives a shot to an offensive lineman just for his efforts.
Over anxious, listening to the quarterback once again. Watch the football with your peripheral vision. When the ball moves, you move. Don't listen to the quarterback. He'll get you every time.
Approachment on the defense. Repeat, 2nd down.
So this 5 yards will mark it very close to first down yardage for the South. See if they'll measure it. From my naked eye up here in the announce booth, it appears it might be about a half yard short of a first down. So good, second and very short yard.
Good down to throw the ball, I think, Eric. I'd throw because you got 3rd in the yard. This might be a throwaway down.
And Howard looking to throw it, and he throws it over the middle. He has his man. Touchdown. Nakia Edwards out of Texas Southern puts the South squad on the board. It's now a 13-6 ball game.
Nice drive, and I guess I was thinking along the same lines as the coaches on that 2nd and short. You know, your whole game plan is wide open to you. And Nakia Edwards was the man on that drive. 3 receptions that I recall, on this touchdown drive. Good separation from the line of scrimmage. Quarterback, as he works his way up to the line of scrimmage, Michael Howard throws the ball nicely down the middle of the football field to Nakia Edwards. So he kept his mechanics sound.
Carlos Leach putting it up and through on the extra point. That's a kick that's not blocked, but we do have a flag on the play.
Got to be something. Yeah, it's never easy in the kicking game. There's always some sort of problem.
As the officials sort things out, and Carlos Leach saying, well, that's number 1.
Yeah, you got 1 point anyway. I think it looks like this. It looks like this infraction is going to be handled on the kickoff, so it's going to be on the North.
Illegal participation against the white.
12 men.
Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Try for point. Good.
Well, they had 12 men on the field, and you can't do that. You can only do that in Canada, too.
Looking at a very happy Nakia Edwards, who gets the South squad back in the ball game. 13-7, the North leading when we come back. Eric Clemens and Dave Lapham, and we've got a football game, the Freedom All-Star game here at Texas Stadium. The South, an impressive march. The North trimming that North lead to only 6 at 13-7, and because of too many men being on the field on that extra point, the South will kick it off. Carlos Leach to kick it off from the midfield, rather, the 50-yard line, and with his strong leg,
Put it through.
is good.
Yeah, right through the uprights.
Too bad it doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, with a running start like that, that's a 60-yard field goal. So if it comes down to it,
I'm telling you,
Coach Rob might want to try that leg.
This kid is Leach
from that distance.
Oh, he's got a pendulum hanging off of that hip. The thing that's impressive about him, Eric, not only the distance but the elevation he gets. Nice 9-play drive right there by the South offense. They mixed the run and pass in pretty well. Like you said, Eric, they threw on first down. That was a nice little change up.
Eddie Robinson a lot more interested right now with his team trailing only by 6, and Rodney Granger out of Virginia State leading the North offense with Ferguson and Bo Morgan, his classmate and teammate out of Virginia State, at the halfback spot. And Bo gets the handoff, breaks it outside, gets out to the 24-yard line, for a couple of defenders bring him down, including not Marion Powell, but Kenny Walker, one of the tacklers on the play.
Yeah, I really like Bo Morgan. I mean, the kid is 5'7", 205 pounds. You know, all the great running backs you think of in the NFL now, the Barry Sanders type, the Emmitt Smith. You know, they're not 6'2", they're not 6. They're short, squatty, elusive guys. And I'm not saying that Bo Morgan is in that class, but he's got that body type. He can bounce it pretty well.
Has some pretty good speed, too, to bounce it to the outside on second down. Granger the throw and a little bit low and away from his intended receiver, Tony Lanier, another Virginia State teammate of his. But that one mistimed and incomplete. He was also under some heavy pressure, too. He had to throw it before he really wanted to.
Right, and it's good to see the South starting to get a little bit of pressure, because the North offensive line really, I thought they had the better of it, you know, up front in the running game, as well as protecting their quarterback in the first half. So the intensity is turned up a notch or two for the South defense.
4 receivers set for the North on third down, with Kenny Bynum, the lone setback, and Granger back to throw. Stepping up into the pocket, sings it to the far side, and that one is caught by Michael Jenkins. But it appears Jenkins will be about a yard short of the first down. Jenkins out of Hampton, 6'4", 190. He's a big target for the quarterback.
Yeah, Jenkins, a little comeback route, and Kendrick Crawford's in the coverage. A little pick play, but Crawford does a nice job of working his way through. The only problem is the route is run short of the necessary yards. Jenkins does a good job of running the route, but he comes up a yard too short coming back for the football. They have to punt it away, so a defensive stand by the South.
So Todd Covington out of Hampton U, back at his 15 in deep punt formation. He gets this one away, a low line drive, end over end kick, bounces at the 40 and comes down to Hatchett, who caught it at his 27-yard line but had absolutely nowhere to go on that return, as the North special team, the punt coverage unit, was all over it. Jenkins on the tackle there, Billy Jenkins out of Howard. 43-yard punt, minus 1 yard on the return, so the South takes over once again. Downtown Dallas, one of the more cosmopolitan cities in the United States of America. Beautiful scenery from up high, and there's Joe Taylor as he looks at the scoreboard, and his North squad clinging, I do say clinging, to a 13-7 lead. The South has taken control of things here in the third quarter. Michael Howard leading an impressive march with a 19-yard pass to Nakia Edwards, with the South right back in it earlier in the quarter. It's a 13-7 game, and on first down it goes to Keith Dean. Dean, a nice hole as he cut it back right, taking it off left guard, and he picks up about 4 yards on the play.
And once again, the nice adjustment that the South offensive staff makes is if the North defensive line is starting to take control of things up front, the quick hitters with the fullback, trap, quick dives, that type of thing, and see if they can get something generated. And I tell you, I don't think Eddie Robinson and his staff made a whole lot of changes, adjustments. You don't really do that in an all-star game. All it was a little motivational talk that he gave to his troops. It seems to have rectified a lot of problems. That's why he's won 402 games.
Right on second down, Michael Howard, been a red-hot quarterback in the second half, has his man, Matthew Hatchett, and Hatchett is up. Pass first down yardage down to the 41-yard line of the North, and the drive continues as he gives the signal. Brian Pittman out of North Carolina A&T made the stop.
And once again, Eddie Robinson knows that these guys are the cream of the crop. They're the all-stars, so they've already got some personal pride. Just challenge their manhood a little bit and see if they respond. And everybody on the South squad on both sides of the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively, and even in the kicking game, special teams have responded to what the legend had to say at the half.
And since the first quarter, the South has run up 13 first downs to 1 for the North. So the tide of this game definitely changing. Handoff going there to Antonio Leroy, and Leroy out of Albany State gets some pretty decent yardage on first down inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line.
Nice job by Antonio Leroy. He does not run at the point of attack. It's a trap, nice little kick-out block, and he bounces it to the outside. Instead of taking it up inside, he read the defense, being everybody was washed to the inside. He bounced it to the outside. Nice vision. Once again, Rayfield Adams, the big right guard, 6'2", 330 pounds, was the escort, pulling from that right guard spot, laying the leather on folks.
All right, on second down, Howard back to pass, rolling to escape some trouble, trying to buy time. We have a flag on the play, and Howard goes out of bounds wisely, I might add, at the 36-yard line. Darrell Blythe and Michael Lattimore were giving chase, but we do have a flag down on the play, and it's in the South backfield.
Yeah, John Howard, the big right tackle, was holding. He had a latch on Michael Thornton, the defensive end. I think the referee is going to call holding on this one, and he does. He had a good grip of the jersey there, and Cloth was stretching. You got to know when to let go. Everybody holds. When the guys that don't get caught know when to let go. As soon as that jersey starts to stretch, let it go. Don't let the officials see that cloth out there.
That's something, of course, that continuing education in the professional ranks will definitely teach them.
That's right.
Repeat, second down.
Take a look at the bottom of the screen, the left side of the screen. The big offensive lineman they're out in the open field. He's got a latch, that right hand grabbing that jersey, and there's a left hand grabbing also the official looking right at it. That's where he made the call, holding right there. Well,
Howard,
yeah.
look at his first 3 attempts. 2 of them picked up, but since then, he has looked like the quarterback that set records at Miles College. And now he's going to run for his life here. He's inside his own 30, trying to buy some room, and does not. He is chased out of bounds and brought down by Cedric White and Ronnie Wilkerson, and another big loss on the play. So this drive killed by the holding penalty and the big sack there.
Yeah, it certainly throws you off schedule. You know, when you have a penalty and infraction like that, and then couple it with a quarterback sack back-to-back, that's equivalent to getting back-to-back sacks. And I tell you, you talk about running for your life. Remember Ben Gazzara, the star of that show, Run for Your Life? That's the role that quarterback Michael Howard played right there. He was Ben Gazzara out there running for his life.
And he did not escape. That was a loss of 16 yards on the play. So it's third down, and I'll call it a very long way to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what play. I don't know what play Coach Rob has up his sleeve for this one, but out of the shotgun formation on 3rd and 38, after taking over in such great field position, Howard looking deep down the near side, has a man down there. There's a fight for the ball, and it is just batted away by Curtis Jones. Matthew Hatchett had it in his hands for a moment, but it fell harmlessly incomplete.
I bet Eddie Robinson probably was hoping that they picked that off and it'd be better than a punt, because of the problems they've had in their kicking game. But, you know, this is when a quarterback looks at the coach, 3rd and about 50. What do you call? He turns his back to him. Well, I'm going to go down the football field and lay it up there, see if I can let my wide receiver show his athletic ability and make a play. That's what we were talking about. Guys in these all-star games, one-on-one, who can come up with the play? Cornerback or wide receiver? That time, cornerback won the battle.
So the South forced to put it up on the punt. Cedric Dunbar on 4th and 38. I don't think he even can fake this one and pick up 38 yards.
No.
So he's going to have to kick this one away. He averaged 41.4 in his career, or in this season rather, at Jackson State. His long was 63 yards, and now it's another flag on the field, and they're walking off more yardage against the South team. Let's see what this indication is.
I didn't even see him start the play clock. I don't know if it was a time infraction or not.
That's a dead ball. Personal foul against the offense.
Well, that was late.
4th down.
4th down, and wow, 53. 4th and 53.
I think that's the longest I've ever heard of. I've never heard of a 4th and 53. I think that one eclipses anything I've heard.
4th down and 53, and now we have a play stoppage, a timeout on the field as they sort this out. And we have a timeout against the South squad. This Thursday, Fox Sports Net delivers another Pac-10 men's hoops matchup as the Washington Huskies invade the Bay Area to take on the 17th-ranked Stanford Cardinal. Barry Tompkins and George Raveling call the action Thursday at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on your Fox Sports regional network. Check your local listing. North player this time out has a little ice on the knee.
Well, yeah, once again, didn't have enough people on the football field. That's why the timeout was called. But it's, this big guy was illegally chopped, or I don't know if it was caught or not, but he was chop blocked, took a shot to the lower body, and pins taken out from under him.
Joe Taylor, coach of the North squad, his team still clinging to that 6-point lead. He has turned the Hampton football program around, getting it back to Division I, and he talked about the importance of kids coming to and playing at Hampton University.
We have guys on our campus right now that could play 1A, but chose to come to a Hampton because we stress education. We stress getting your degree, and that one day you will be a leader, and that whereas football is exciting, you've been blessed enough, son, to finance your education through your physical talent.
And you saw the punt almost blocked there by the North squad, almost blocked by Lockhart. 34 yards on the punt for the South, and the North for Joe Taylor takes over in great shape. Ball just about, I guess about 12 inches short of midfield. So the North taking over in great shape here late in the 3rd quarter, leading by 6.
That's what happens when you have a holding penalty, a sack, a personal foul penalty, and you're facing 4th and 50 whatever. And self-destruction, that's a new definition. Murphy's Law took hold on that series and wouldn't let go. I mean,
especially after they've really come back strong here in the 2nd half after the nice talk they got, the tongue lashing, if you will, from Coach Eddie Robinson at the break.
Well, there was a little convention of the officials out there at midfield. There's a penalty flag on the play that they're sorting out right now.
Having another committee meeting down there to sort out who did what and what the yardage is. Let's listen to the call.
They have a delayed flag against the defense for rushing more than 6 men on a punt. Replayed it down. Thank you.
They rushed too many men on the punt, so the North punt return team will be penalized. It's certainly not going to give them a first down, though. It was only a 5-yard penalty, so now it's 4th and 51, or whatever it is.
48. Penalties, we've seen our share.
You can't rush more than 3 on one side. Let's see if they don't do that. Did they rush 6? I don't know. Boy, that's a shaky one. I only saw 4 people end up rushing. Maybe the problem was, though, you can't overload the line of scrimmage and confuse them.
Right.
and show like 8 are going to rush and only rush 4 of them in the rules of the All-Star game. So you can't rush more than 3 rush people on either side of the center on the punt team, though. That's a rule in this game also.
4th and 47 now. Ken Bynum back at his 46-yard line, deep to receive the punt, and we had some movement in the offensive line of the South, and this is getting to be kind of funny unless you're one of the coaches here, because now they're going to take 5 more yards back, so we'll be back at 4th and 53 again.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's why the coaches are going for it on 4th down. You can't go for it on 4th and 51.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, repeat, 4th down.
But the kicking game in every facet, punt, field goal, extra point, it's all been an adventure. That's why you're seeing these coaches, Eddie Robinson and Joe doing Joe Taylor from Hampton, I should say, deciding on 4th down to go for it. If it's at all feasible, go for it, because the kicking game is certainly nothing to feel secure about.
Eddie, as well, doesn't have too much more hair to lose, and this keeps happening.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you gray hair or no hair at all.
We had some more movement in the backfield on the punt, and the official had his hand. He still has his hands on the flag, but I think he just decided not to throw it. I think we had some more. There's one out there now on the near side of the field. So hold on to your hats, or rather on the far side of the field at midfield.
Oh, boy.
So we'll see them sort this one out. How many plays in a row is this now?
I say just let it go. Just let it go. Let the game continue.
Well, there was some motion in the backfield for the punt team, and you saw the umpire back there about ready to throw it. Now
interference with the return man's opportunity to field the punt. I don't know.
So
I'd say the momentum is severely interrupted here by the yellow hankies.
So if the North has a chance, they will probably decline the penalty and take over right there at midfield. In great shape for Joe Taylor, who doesn't have any gray hair yet.
Yeah.
But maybe by the end of this one, he'll have a few sprouting up.
He doesn't even have any in his mustache. Eddie, of course, being a Grambling for over half a century, he's allowed some gray hair. There's no question about that. Eddie Robinson, I tell you, there hadn't been anybody any better in his profession.
Kick, catch, interference against the defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Okay, let's get this play from scrimmage going here.
Okay, Eddie Robinson talking to Michael Howard, his quarterback. Look at the time of possession, the South ruling, especially here in the second half, almost a 3-minute advantage, but they still trail it by 6. Granger gives it to Bynum, and Kenny Bynum out of South Carolina State goes straight up the middle for about 3 into South territory at the 47-yard line before he's brought down by Matthew Williams.
Now, what the North offense would like to do is go on a sustained drive here. They've only got a half the football field to negotiate. The South has captured momentum. North had it all in the first half. The South came out in the second half a little bit more serious about playing the game here. The North they would like to take advantage of this great field position, take some time off the clock, put it in the end zone, and recapture momentum.
Joe Sewell out of Eastern Washington is now in the game at the halfback spot. 4 receivers set for the North, and Granger back to throw, going deep down the far side, but that one's well overthrown. He was looking for Michael Jenkins. It's harmless, incomplete. 1 week from tonight, Fox Sports News swings into the Big Easy for the most comprehensive Super Bowl preview show on television. Join Fox's Super Bowl broadcast team, John, Pat, JB, Terry, Ronnie, and Howie, and the Fox Sports News crew as they uncover the latest news, break down the game plans, and serve up some New Orleans fun. I should say Nolans fun, I guess. That's next Saturday night, January 25th at 6 and 9 p.m. on your Fox Sports Regional Network. Check your local listings.
Eric, I know you're going to be down there, Eric. Have a little muffalata sandwich for me, will you? It's good stuff down there.
Jambalaya.
Yeah, a little jambalaya, something.
Rodney Granger not being on target here very much in the second half because of pressure like that by Carlos Lockhart, who got the deflection on that one.
Well, the one thing that Rodney Granger is going to have to battle, the guy's 5'10", probably on his tippy toes. So, you know, you have these humongous offensive and defensive linemen. He feels like he's in the forest of sequoias, and he's trying to throw between trees a little bit. And at that height, a lot of times he has passes batted down or deflected. Here, a defensive lineman gets airborne and tips the pass. And that's something, of course, that Rodney Granger is going to have to deal with, having that short stature in the pocket. He might be a little bit better getting outside and pressuring the perimeter.
Todd Covington will strike this one from his 41. Another high punt. Coming down, fair catch signal for, and the ball is muffed. Muffed down inside the 15-yard line. Who has it?
I think the North came up with it. I don't know.
No official signal just
South
yet.
got it. South secured it.
And the South very fortunate on that play as Brian Eccles out of Knoxville College recovers the muff punt.
And look at they run into each other. Two return men collide. Man, and the ball is free after that, and it's just bouncing around the AstroTurf. South, fortunately, is able to come up with a recovery, but looked like a little pinball game out there.
Tony Blackett was the one who ran into Charles Towns on the reception there of the punt, and it was muffed. But the South, fortunately, comes back up with it, and they put things in play with 1:44 to go in the third quarter on their own 10-yard line. Howard, the handoff to Keith Dean out of Grambling, and Dean over left guard, and we have another flag on the play, and the flag way out here at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, there are too many men out in the field for the North here. Let's take a look. Or did somebody break one of the rules in terms of blitzing a linebacker when they shouldn't have been blitzing? Let's see what the call is. Going to be against it is going to be against the North defense. I think probably they stretched one of the rules. Now remember, you know, inside linebackers can't blitz. You have to play a 5-2 defensive set, nose guard, couple of defensive tackles or defensive ends, outside linebackers. No inside linebacker can blitz or rush the passer. Outside backers can bring 5, no more than 5 to the quarterback. Then offensively, you can't have a multitude of formations and personnel groups, 3 basic formations, and the 10-point rule. If you fall behind by 10, you receive the kickoff no matter what, as long as you're more than 10 points behind. So I think probably the officials detected the North inside linebacker blitzing.
We did not get a verbal explanation of that, but that is probably the case. And the coaches told us in meetings yesterday as this game progressed, 12 men on the field, we understand, is the call.
Well, usually they give that 2 hands over the head, that illegal participation deal on that.
So on 1st and 5, you get the handoff straight up the middle for a pickup of about 1 or 2 yards on the play. As we're approaching the 1-minute mark remaining in the third quarter, Antonio Parker took that handoff and picked up about 1.5 yards or 2 before Arcal Truly brought him down.
Well, the third quarter seemed to take about a week, and that's because of all the penalties. Man, it's taken a long time to get this third quarter to a conclusion here. And we thought, even discussions yesterday, Eric, when we were talking about this football game, I thought special teams in the kicking game. I remember covering a kickoff in the East-West Shrine game. I never covered a kickoff in my life, and I got detonated. You just don't usually cover special teams.
Antonio Parker showing some nifty footwork, getting it outside and across the 20, and he picks up first down yardage before Brian Pittman brought him down.
And the South just trying to get off the shadow of their own goal line. And the field positions is a tough deal for them, and now they move the chains, and it opens up a little bit more of the playbook. You know, you're a little gun-shy about throwing the football when you're backed up to the extent that the South is, but you get outside the 20-yard line, maybe you might feel a little bit more comfortable about throwing the ball some.
So on first down at the 22-yard line, the South, the handoff to the first man through, Keith Dean, and Dean had a big hole, got out to the 29-yard line before Darrell Flythe made the tackle and saved, easily 5-10 more yards on the play.
Once again, I really do like the adjustment that the South coaching staff made. When you're having trouble up front, quick hitter to the fullback. Get him to the line of scrimmage immediately. Don't run any counters in the backfield. Anything that'll take time to get to the line of scrimmage, get there as quickly as you possibly can.
Finally and mercifully, with all the penalties, we've reached the end of the third quarter. The North still clinging to a 13-7 lead over the South. Back with the fourth in just a moment. And we're here at Texas Stadium in Irving as the third quarter marred by penalties, but still had an exciting play on the South march. A nice march ending with the 19-yard pass from Howard to Nakia Edwards to get him right back in the ball game. And now the South opening the fourth quarter with second down and about 4 to go as they're trying to get back into the ball game. And take a look at the stats. The South really picking it up.
They really did. They didn't have any first downs in the first quarter. Now they've doubled up the North in the first down category. Total yards in the South favor now, where it certainly wasn't the case at the half. In time of possession, the South run a lot more plays. They've run a lot more plays at the line of scrimmage than the North in the third quarter, and it reflects in that time of possession.
Now we have an officials timeout on the field as the officials come over and tell one of the high school marching bands here to cool it with the music. The players on the field having a little trouble hearing the signals with them blaring away.
Yeah, it's problems in an all-star game anyway. You don't have to deal with that.
So on second down, and we have
anyway.
a problem with the snap, and we've got more flags. So pull up a chair. We might be a while if it keeps continuing like this. And as the officials sort this one out.
I know they're earning their money tonight. They're not. I hope they're not being paid by penalty, though. We might be here a long time.
That might be some incentive for more. I don't think so, but we'll get the indication.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. Repeat, second down.
So a false start on the South offense, and the offense has really killed itself a lot for the South with some penalties, especially on that last drive, a key one. That resulted in a 4th and 53. 9 penalties for the South, 8 for the North.
Yeah, 17 penalties for a combined almost football field and a half, and it's only after 3 quarters. We got a full quarter to play, so hopefully they'll tidy things up here a little bit on both sides of the ball.
Now we have another stoppage of play on the field and another flag. And what do we have now? The play clock is showing 15.
Yeah, they want to get the clock adjusted. If they started the 25-second clock too quickly.
Okay, so
bounce it back up there and get it going again.
Andy Robinson says, let's get on with this thing.
I don't know why you have to throw a flag for that. Yeah, pick that flag up.
25-second clock, please. Thank you.
25-second clock is reset, so the South on second down will try to continue the momentum they started early in the third quarter with an impressive march to get back in the ball game. And Howard back to pass, throwing on the run, and that one off the hands of Nakia Edwards out of Texas Southern, incomplete.
Now, in a perfect world as a quarterback, you'd like to take your drop and deliver the football on the last step of your drop. Third step on a 3-step drop, throw off your back foot, and deliver the ball. Howard is having to buy time by stepping up in the pocket, and his mechanics, his throwing mechanics, are suffering as a result of it. Thrown off his front foot as he's lurching forward to the line of scrimmage, and it's hard to throw the ball accurately sometimes in that manner.
Showing some good mobility, however, escaping the pass rush that has really hounded him most of the night here in the Freedom All-Star game. And now the South not liking what they were seeing on the play clock, so the fellas indicate timeout. So they're going to go to Coach Robinson on the far sideline to talk things over. Keith, third down and long play coming up for the South, trying to get back in the game and take the lead. North squad sending hellos throughout the region and throughout the country. They're holding a 6-point lead right now as we are very early here in the fourth quarter of play. As they get things sorted out off the timeout, the South facing a third down and long situation from the 24. And guess what? We have some movement on the far side of the field. Both sides of the field actually moving on the play, and let's see how the officials sort this flag out.
Well, the wide receiver to the top of the formation definitely took off premature to the snap, 5 yards down the field.
False start on the offense. Repeat, third down.
Appeared Matthew Hatchett was the one who got an early jump on that one. So another penalty on the play. favors Joe Taylor's North defense. Now it'll be 3rd down and very long. Average yards on 3rd down. The South getting 13. They'll need about that much now to get a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, that's what they've needed. That's what they've needed to capture for conversion. I think they're 1 for 9 on 3rd down going into this occasion.
And Howard back to pass, throwing, getting a good touch on that one to the far side of the field, and he has his tight end, Nakia Edwards. And before I say first down, I'm going to check the field for flags, and there are none. Okay,
yeah.
First down.
Well, Nakia Edwards has been the man here in the second half. This is at least his 4th or 5th catch that I can recall. He had 3 catches, including a touchdown on the opening drive of the second half. And once again, just gets behind coverage, and the ball is laid out there perfectly. They caught the North in a man coverage situation. He just beat the strong safety, got it done.
Eddie Robinson urged this kind of play in the halftime locker room, as you may have seen. He says all we got to do is run up the field, get the ball up there, and sit in the pocket and throw the football. This is Antonio Parker turning the corner. Parker up near the 50-yard line. He has another first down for the South before Brian Pittman and Robert Johnson bring him down. 13 yards on that play.
And once again, you got a running back that bounces it pretty well. Big old right guard out there pulling, hucking and bucking again, leading the pack, and he gets a nice little seal block on the perimeter. That's Rayfield Adams, who some people feel will be in somebody's camp. And there's no question he's got the size to do it at 330 pounds. Parker cozied up behind him for a nice gain. He's picked up 44 yards on the night so far.
Parker out of Alabama State, 4.3 yards per carry average in this his senior season at Alabama State. And this one goes to Keith Dean, the pullback, and Dean, some nifty footwork, bounces it to the outside, and he's very close to another first down before Curtis Jones brought him down. The South, Dave, is really on the move now.
They really are, and they're keeping the North defense off balance a little bit. They're pulling the offensive linemen and getting the running backs to the outside to the perimeter, and the complement is hammer the fullback up in there on a quick dive to keep the defense honest in the interior. So they've got a little inside-outside running game going, and also throwing the football when they need to. So offensively, they're clicking on every cylinder right now, whereas in the first quarter, they couldn't get out of their own way. But what the change is, things solidified up front.
Dean limped off the field under his own power. The give on the delay goes to Antonio Parker, who picked up maybe 3. The 3 plays before that run picked up 20, 13, and 11 yards for the South. So they were on a bit of a roll before that play, and that one picked up decent yardage on first down. Call it a pickup of about 3 or 4 yards.
Right, that keeps them on schedule. I mean, you know, they weren't thrown for no loss or thrown for a loss on the play. So, you know, now they can either run or throw the football.
And again, no flag, our producer Roy Hamilton reminds us, and that's been a rarity here in the second half, folks. If you're just joining us, South trying to drive it and take a lead. They trail by 6. Howard stepping up in the pocket, goes far side, has Hatchet, first down yardage once again down at the 25-yard line. And we have another flag on this play. And that flag is back in holding territory.
That's
what
right.
do you think, Dave?
That's right. That's back in nullification area.
Well, the South has hurt itself a lot here in this half with penalties really killing momentum on some of their drives, especially the last one. They had great field position. Of course, the penalties made it 4th and 53, but they have really hurt themselves in this game penalty-wise.
They have. I mean, both teams have been penalized equal number, but I agree with you. I think the South's penalties have come in a more crucial situation for them. And here's a great example. I mean, this is basically a 15 or a 20-yard swing. The completion was made for first down. Come back and you lose 10 yards. I mean, that play cost you 20, 22 yards because of the penalty.
So holding on the offense, and Eddie Robinson cannot be too impressed with that, and Joe Taylor has to be a little worried. The South team taking it to his North squad here in the second half, and somebody's got to come up with a stand defensively for the North to kill off this drive if the South doesn't kill itself with continuing penalties. So it'll be second down and 20 from about the 47-yard line. Howard stepping up in the pocket. Now he's going to keep it. He gets to the 45 and the 43-yard line. And they'll keep the clock rolling. He did not get out of bounds. Robert Johnson making the stop there.
Well, once again, in a normal scenario, what you try to do here is, if you can't get the first down, generate enough yards where you got a talented field goal kicker in Carlos Leach, get within his range. They can pick up another 5 to 7 yards. They're well within his range, but the problems that both teams have had in securing it up front for the kicker, protecting him well enough so he has an opportunity to get the ball airborne, have been where the crisis has arisen. So both coaches a little gun shy about it.
In the shotgun, Howard throwing deep down the far side of the field, and that one batted away easily, but we have a penalty flag on the play. Curtis Jones was back on coverage. He was getting help from Carlos Odom out of FAMU, and there's a flag down.
And I think they're going to call interference on this one, and if they do, in college football, it's a penalty from the line of scrimmage that will give the South another first down.
And here comes the call. It is pass interference against the defense. Looks like they caught Odom on the play. Let's watch it again, Dick.
Take a look. You got Hatchett working his route down the football field. See if he's messed with before the arrival of the football. Curtis Jones gets his hands on him. Watch him get his hands on him and work as well. It's a little late there. He got his hands on him and worked his way through his body to get the inside position. In the official's estimation, they're obviously interfering with Hatchett's opportunity to make a play on the ball.
And Hatchett has to remember the hit he also took from Carlos Odom out of FAMU, who made him pay for going up and trying to get that ball.
That's one of those hits where you go back to the huddle and you make sure all your fillings are still in there securely, because he probably rattled every one of them.
He certainly did, but the ball now, a big break for the South team as the ball moved inside the 30 to the 27-yard line, and the South has a fresh set of downs. After that 3rd and long situation, they get help with the pass interference penalty. This is Antonio Parker, and Parker picks up good yardage on first down before Billy Jenkins brings him down after a pickup of about 6.
You know, I think this South squad obviously responded to Eddie Robinson at the half, and I think part of it is you sit there and you listen to a guy like that who's been in this game coaching for over a half a century. You know that he's got pride, and you could see how hurt he was. You know, his pride was wounded at halftime, and I think his team was listening to him, and you know, you really respond to a legend, and that's what this South team has done.
On 2nd down, Parker again, big hole off the left side, and Parker has first down yardage inside the 20 to about the 16-yard line before Darrell Flythe out of Hampton brought him down. The linebacker making the tackle, but a little bit too late. Another first down for the South.
And once again, the escort was Rayfield Adams pulling from that right guard spot. And I tell you, it's a big body, a guy that can redirect himself in the open field, you know, like a sports car instead of the 18-wheeler. I mean, it's a 330-pound body that, you know, can make that quick turn. I mean, he reroutes himself, redirects himself pretty darn well out there.
6'2" and 330. And now we have a timeout on the field taken by the North squad. Joe Taylor needs to get his squad fired up to try to keep the South from taking the lead. We'll return with more 4th quarter action in a moment. On first down, going into the end zone, and a little pushing and shoving going on over there in the far corner. Hatchett and Curtis Jones have been battling all night long, and nobody came up with that one, so it'll be 2nd down.
What I mean by that Charles Dickens analogy, it's the best of times, worst of times for the North and South. Each one have prospered and suffered accordingly. And take a look at this play. Nice protection, a pocket formed very, very adequately for the quarterback. Once again, one-on-one. The ball's in the air. Who's going to make the play? Is it going to be the Hatchet, the receiver, or will the corner make the play? Corner stepped up and deflected the football.
Curtis Jones knocking that one away. This is Antonio Parker, and Parker more good yardage off the left side. He gets it close to the 11-yard line, and that might be a pickup of 6 yards or so before Cedric White, one of the tacklers on that play, along with Arcal Trulick.
Now on this 3rd down, you've got a two-way go. It's 3rd down and about 5. You know, you can throw the football or run the football, and once again, you've got a pretty darn good place kicker in Carlos Leach if you have to settle for that field goal opportunity. But Eddie Robinson, I'm sure, would like to pump this into the end zone and take a lead.
So on 3rd down and 5 at the 11-yard line, the give to Parker, and Parker taking it straight up the middle. Pretty safe call on 3rd down, but setting up a very strong leg of Carlos Leach if they don't decide to go for it here on what will be 4th down and about 3 to go.
They may do that. They may decide that it was 4 down territory and
Coach Robinson definitely has a decision.
Yep, and it looks like he's already got a play in mind. I think he's going to send a play in and go for it here on 4th down.
Well, you see Leach about
wants
to
to
come onto the
kick.
field. Yeah, he's going to kick it.
Yeah.
Try to redeem himself after that blocked field goal
Well,
in the first half resulted in the 66-yard blocked field goal return for a score for the North.
Yeah, the wingback on the place kick team, on the field goal team, has to do a better job of ricochet on that side. Has to seal the inside. He just went and blocked the outside man, let the inside person come free. Gibson blocked the field goal, and it was returned by Robert Johnson, 66 yards for a touchdown. Looks like the South has to take a timeout.
Yeah, the play clock is at 0. And so they take too much time in deciding what to do here on 4th down. So Leach will have to kick it from even further, call it a 32-yard field goal attempt. Make it officially a 31-yard attempt for Carlos Leach out of Southern. Tee it up from the near hash mark. And another flag is down. This one is up and good, but let's wait till the officials sort it out and give us the penalty on the play. And Antonio Leroy trying to help out the official there, making the call.
It looks like it's going to be on the South. You know, you can rush any number of guys you want to block the field goal. There's no restrictions like in this All-Star game like there is in the punting game.
And Eddie Robinson knows how important this is. If it really is another penalty against the South, that will be 2 in a row, and he'll have to kick it from 10 yards further away than he did from the original spot of the ball here on 4th down. So let's see what they sort out. And having a meeting back there at about the 10-yard line.
Well, I anticipated the kicking game to be a little bit of an adventure. It usually is in All-Star games, but this is more of an adventure than I thought it was going to be for the entire game.
13 penalties, 101 yards against the South.
Pick the flag up.
There's
Okay, so they pick the flag up. There's no flag on the play. The Carlos Leach field goal is good, and the South now trailing by 3 here in the 3rd quarter. The North leading it 13-10. North leading the ball game now 13-10 here in the 4th quarter. Joe Taylor talking things over with the official, wondering what the flag was on that play earlier, and they finally get it together. 13-10 here in the 4th quarter. The North leading the South scoring 10 unanswered points. And joining us here upstairs in the announce booth is former Cleveland Brown standout wide receiver Reggie Langhorne. Reggie also playing a big part in bringing this game, reviving this game back for the athletes in the historically black colleges. Talk about first the importance of this ball game to you, Reggie.
Well, the importance of this game is probably because so many of these kids didn't get an opportunity to be seen during their college careers. And this gives them an opportunity, maybe 1 or 2 of them to make it in the pros, if nothing but practice squads. I'm thankful just to be able to take a part in it. I didn't have a chance to play in this game when I came out of school. I came out of school when Mr. Rice came out, when that was time. You know who that guy is.
Yeah, I think we know who he is.
Yeah, but I still got a chance to get drafted and continue my career in the NFL.
All right, now this game, of course, revived after taking 7 years off, and I think everybody involved with it sees it as being a real important contest, and in the future it's really going to be a big bowl game for these kids at the historically black college.
Well, what they've done is created a stepping stone for themselves. This is the first game. It's not going so well as far as the crowd numbers, but the kids are still getting an opportunity to play, and next year we expect it to be much larger than this.
All right, Reggie Langhorne joining us up here. You saw a very nice kick return out across the 40 by the North squad there, as the North will take over in good shape, trying to establish something here in the second half. See any players out here, especially your position, the wide receiver spot? We got some pretty big guys with some good speed. Have you seen anybody that catches your eye?
Well, I like Michael Jenkins out of Hampton University because I live in the Hampton area, and Mike's he's a good kid, and I had a chance to watch him play in college. But I wish them all a lot of success. There's a lot of guys that wouldn't normally get this shot, and it's great to just have them to get a chance to play ball tonight.
On 1st and 10 out of the 42-yard line, and we had some more movement on the North squad, so we get a flag there as Bynum was taking the pitch. It looked like he was about to set up a halfback option play.
Yeah, they have that in the game plan. Reggie, let me ask you, Cleveland Brown standout. Now they're with the Baltimore Ravens. What's your thoughts on that, your feelings there?
Well, I'm sorry that the team had to leave because you had so many fans that were loyal to the city of Cleveland and to the team of Cleveland. And those fans and those people that had those tickets for so many years, and they were left holding nothing, actually. So what you got a situation, you got the loyalty, and people always think that the teams leaving cities like that, there is no loyalty in football anymore. It's all a big business, and that's the way it goes. The more money, the more city plays, that's the way it goes.
Back to this game, Reggie. What do you see the future of this game as being, and what do you see it in terms of the importance developing over the next few years?
Well, I think what you got to do is we're going to have to get out and do more advertising. We have to take the time to come to the city that we plan on doing it in next year and promote it as hard as we can, get the radio stations, TV stations, whatever we can to do to help get this game broadcast and get 50,000 and 60,000 people out in these stands. Okay, good enough. The kids performing hard and performing well at the historically black colleges and universities. Reggie Langhorne, thank you very much for continued success. And I know this game is going to get bigger in large part because of your effort. I'll do what I can to help.
All right, Reggie, thank you very much for joining us upstairs. Some of the fans, what size popcorn is that? I mean, that's a super extra something large. I don't know.
I could do some damage on that bad boy right now. I could eat right down to Rico's.
All right, so the flag against the North squad. 2nd down now, and very long, and under some heavy pressure. Down goes Brad McAdams as he is brought down by Sean Benton out of Alcorn State. First team all SWAC conference selection this year. He had 7 sacks with the Braves this season. Comes up with a big one there. So for the North, it'll be 3rd and very, very, very long after they took over. The original line of scrimmage is the 42-yard line. The ball's all the way back to the 26.
Well, the defense for the South responding to the momentum the offense has generated. So there's a little synergy going on in this South team right now.
4 receivers set with Kenny Bynum, the lone set back behind Brad McAdams, who goes looking deep down the seam, and that one is a little bit overthrown. He was looking for, it looked like his tight end, Massimini, going over the seam, or it might have been Michael Jenkins as well. Tough to read the number there. I think it was the tight end, and that one falls harmlessly incomplete. So it'll be a 3rd down play and long.
I guess the
down marker read 3rd down on the play before, so we were thinking this might be 4th down, but apparently a mistake there. So it'll be 3rd down and very long. 4 receivers set in for the North, and the play clock winding down. But McAdams trying to buy himself some time under heavy pressure, now coming to the near side. Throws it downfield, and that one is it caught? No, it is out of bounds and incomplete. His back defending was Charles Towns out of Langston, and we have 2 flags down on the play inside the 20-yard line, so we'll see what the officials sort out here.
It was my imagination, or the first half was played a lot personal foul, roughing the quarterback. Hey, so it's a 1st down for the North offense. Roughing the quarterback, personal foul, 1st down. Now, I don't know. When the quarterback leaves the pocket, the sanctity of the pocket, I thought that he was open game. But I guess you can't hit once he's released the football. If a reasonable time has expired, you can't hit him that late. Well, I don't know. I think that's a little bit. I think the officials are becoming a little overzealous with the yellow hankies myself.
Kenny Walker making the hit there. Penalty marred game so far in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and that will give them 1st down yardage on that late hit penalty, or an automatic 1st down. The score here in the 4th quarter, the North leading the South 13-10.
In a penalty marred 2nd half, that's for sure. I think the penalty totals are probably more than total offense for both teams here in the second half. I think they've had more yards and penalties than they have offense.
I think you're correct there. Two tight ends set here for the North squad, and McAdams the handoff to Bynum, and Bynum rocked down hard after picking up very short yardage. Sean Benton out of Alcorn State, a little bit fired up with his team down only by 3.
Well, it's anybody's ball game. There's no question about that. There's about 7 minutes to play. It's a 3-point game. The South defense had the North stop, but once again, the old penalty bugaboo crept up as they roughed the quarterback. Automatic first down, and now the North finds themselves over the midfield in South territory, trying to build on their 3-point lead.
High formation behind Brad McAdams at quarterback on second down, and here we have the halfback option. Bynum looking to throw downfield, and he does. The defender slipped and fell down, but recovered in time to bat that one away as Bynum had a long heave toward Michael Jenkins, but it was a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, Bynum showed some arm strength. I mean, that ball was about 50 yards in the air. And he was determined to throw that football. And it was after a certain point in time, all the mystery out of the halfback option pass was gone. Because it was right away, he showed that he was going to throw the football. There was nowhere to go with it. Stops, and then the pressure forces him out of the pocket. Kenny Walker makes him go out of the pocket a little bit more and reset to throw the football. He does put it 50 yards in the air, but to no avail.
Good coverage back on the play as the secondary recovered nicely on Bynum's first attempt at a pass tonight. And on the fake draw play, now McAdam going to the far side and hits his tight end who trapped it, and it fell harmlessly away incomplete. Theba Massimini out of Howard, the intended receiver on the play.
Now fourth down, you're going to try the old coffin corner kick. Try to pin the South back inside the 20-yard line, or better yet, inside the 10-yard line, if that can be accomplished.
All right, Covington back deep to receive the punt. Or back deep in punt formation, and Charles Towns is back deep to receive at his own 10-yard line. And Covington aiming for the near side. That one bounds at the 10 and takes a south bounce as it is down by the North at about the 12-yard line. So the South takes over, down by 3, but guess what?
Yeah.
We have another flag on the play at about the 48-yard line of the South. So we'll see how they sort this one out.
Well, the North had somebody down the field too soon, or was it illegal? Might have been 12 men on the field again. We've had that on more than one occasion in the kicking game. Guys not knowing exactly which unit is in there, the number 1 or number 2 punt and punt return teams. You get too many men out in the football field. Either somebody left too early, or they had too many men on the field. But it's definitely going against the North.
So we'll see how they sort this one out. 13-10 ball game with 6:15 to play, and we might be through by tomorrow the way they're throwing all these flags.
12 men on the field. Repeat, fourth down.
It was 12 men on the football field, and unfortunately that's happened more than once.
In these all-star games, especially a situation like this, again, these kids have been practicing together. The coaches haven't had much of a game plan to work on, and special teams were going to be an adventure. So there's some guys who probably just forget they're not on special teams and stay out there on the field.
Right, and when you're breaking your practice time down, like you say, you only work hard for 3 days. How much time can you really spend devoting it to special teams? It's kind of the stepchild that's showing up tonight.
Covington strikes that one from his 31. This is a high angling punt toward the near side, and Towns takes it at his 15, gets away from one tackle, and he's in trouble as he keeps going backwards. And finally, by the time he gets through running, he's taken down inside his own 3-yard line as Ronald Boone came down on the coverage off the punt team. They'll mark his forward progress. No, they mark it right where it is, at the 2-yard line. So 98 yards to go for the South, and 6 minutes exactly left on the clock. 44-yard punt, minus 13 on the return, as Towns thought he saw something if he could just get around the far corner, but he could not.
Boy, minus 13 on a punt return is a tough deal, particularly when you're fielding the ball, inside the 20-yard line. You got to cut your losses either that or try to get up the football field going north and south. You can't retreat like that and put your offense in the shadow of their own goal line.
Is that all-star mentality, him trying to come up with a big play, make something happen?
Yeah, I think you're right, but he's got to be a little smarter than that field position-wise.
Hand off to the first man through, Antonio Leroy, now playing the up-back position for the South, and Leroy gets it up, call it about 3 yards on the play to about the 5.
The one thing the North has been able to do, though, is win the field position battle. I can remember 3 drives this half where the South has started inside the 20, 2 drives inside their own 10-yard line, and as you called it, Eric, you got to go 98 yards to score. And in an all-star game, that's going to take at least 15 plays. And with the penalties, the rate the penalties are coming, that's a tough thing to accomplish.
Look for Michael Howard to look for Nakia Edwards, who's been his hot receiver so far here in the second half. And Howard comes near side, has a man behind the defense. It is caught by Derek Patterson, and Patterson in a foot race finally pushed out of bounds by Billy Jenkins at the 24-yard line of the North. Big play there for the South. Michael Howard on the connection. 71 yards.
The little man from Tuskegee, I'll tell you what, he just ran a go pattern, and his quarterback, Michael Howard, laid it up there perfectly. Let's see where Howard throws this football. He's in his own end zone and airs it out. Where does Patterson catch it? About the 47-yard line. So that ball's in the air for a while, and then hits Patterson in stride, and he's up the field. So I'll tell you what, Howard put that ball about 50 yards in the air, and then Patterson adds a little bit to it as he hit him right in stride, just ran right by the zone coverage down the sideline. Excellent play.
Derek Patterson, a backup quarterback for today, but he hopes nothing happens to Michael Howard, who's been hot for the most part since the first quarter. And the give goes to Antonio Parker. Parker not much there at all. He is met by a host of white shirts, including Darrell Flythe, the linebacker out of Hampton.
It's got to be a nice show of versatility, obviously, by Derek Patterson to be a backup quarterback as well as a wide receiver. But what an advantage is if you have played the quarterback position and you're looking at coverages from that vantage point, then you go out there as a wide receiver and you can understand exactly what's going through the quarterback's mind because you've played that position. You can read the coverages right on the same page that he can, and they really hooked up nicely.
Derek Patterson standing next to coach. That means I want to go back in and beat the defensive secondary one more time. Howard stepping up in the pocket. Now he's going to keep it, and goes down for his own safety inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Tommy Dorsey was there in case he decided to try to run it a little further.
And Eddie Robinson, I wonder if what's going through his mind right now. Is this 4-down territory? It's 3rd and short. If you don't come up with it on 3rd down, you're going to settle for a field goal to possibly tie this football game, or you're going to pound it in there and move the chains and try to take the lead.
With the kicking game, the way it's been going, I certainly wouldn't play for that so far today. And there is no overtime in this game, so if it finishes in a tie, that's the way it is. Michael Howard, impressive numbers, 230 yards in the air so far, and the give to Antonio Parker met as soon as he got the ball. It looked like it might have been Dwayne Robinson in there on the hit, and Michael Thornton was the one who made the hit along with Darrell Flythe out of Hampton, Thornton out of FAMU.
And let's see, I guess he's going to go for the field goal right here to try to tie this thing up.
Eddie Robinson with a little bit of a decision here on 4th down.
Not too much movement at the line of scrimmage. Look at all the white jerseys and helmets that work their way in the gaps, in the creases. The North defense doing a good job of knocking the line of scrimmage backwards and actually lost yards on that play. So Eddie Robinson said, I've seen enough. If you can't do that if it's going to be that unsuccessful on 3rd down, let's kick this bad boy.
Leach trying for his 2nd field goal here in the 4th quarter. He hit a 37-yarder earlier. This one coming from the 23 would be a 33-yarder, but we have another flag down.
Gee, play clock again. Clock expires, and that one was good. You got that up with plenty of elevation. We're going to have to add 5 yards to it.
Robinson not very happy about the play of his special teams at all. I don't know if we've seen many special teams plays, honestly, in this game that haven't resulted in some kind of infraction.
It has been a nightmare. There's no question that the kicking game, you know, there's no cliche that the kicking game is 1/3 of the football game. I think tonight, you know, you take the kicking game for granted during the course of the regular season when teams are working on it all year long, but tonight it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's been so problematic. I mean, it is at least 1/3 of the game.
Call this another 37-yard attempt by Leach, and this one is
good.
Up and it's through. So Carlos Leach displaying that very strong leg out of Southern. 5'10", 180 pounds, gets the field goal to tie it from 37 yards. It's a new ball game, 13 apiece with 2:55 remaining on the clock. Back with more fourth quarter action here at the Freedom All-Star Game in just a moment. Beautiful laser light display downtown Dallas. South squad scoring 13 unanswered to pull into a tie with 2:55 to go. And there's Michael Howard engineering a 6-play, 77-yard drive, resulting in Carlos Leach's second 37-yard field goal of the evening.
I'm impressed with Howard, Eric, because in the first half he took a beating, and he was frustrated, but he has stayed right with it. He kept sawing wood, and boy, in the second half, he has been the story.
South really dominating in terms of first downs and moving the football here in the second half. Leach, a very high kickoff, gives the coverage time to get down there and get to Kenny Bynum, who took it. Now Bynum trying to bounce it outside, but it's cut off there, and he is taken down by Marion Powell. Powell on the tackle and saving Bynum from getting to the corner and picking up a lot of yardage. Anyway, Bynum got out to about the 20, where the North will take over and try to get it into some kind of scoring position.
You know, penalties we've talked about all evening long. The North at this point, 12 penalties for 104 yards. The South, 12 penalties for 96 yards. So both teams have given up a football field. 200 yards in penalties is that's tough when you take one step forward and two steps back like that.
So the North coming out in the 4 wide receiver set. Brad McAdams, co-CIAA Offensive Player of the Year, completes that pass, and he has good yardage for Antoine Callaway out of North Carolina Central, and Callaway gets up close to first down yardage. I believe he has it at the 31-yard line.
Antoine Callaway had a pretty nice career at North Carolina Central, and here's a guy that in 8 games this season caught 59 passes in 8 football games and 8 touchdowns, averaged a touchdown reception per game. So Brad McAdams, not bad numbers either.
5 of 9, 98 yards. He'd love a touchdown before this one is over. 2:23 to go in the contest, and on the draw play, this one is for no gain at all. Nice grab in the defensive backfield. Looked like Otha Evans Jr. out of Jackson State, the linebacker who's been invited, I believe, to the NFL Combine. He had 127 tackles at Jackson State this year with 4 sacks, and he is not a big guy at only 5'11", about 210 pounds, but he is active.
Yeah, you're right. He started out as a safety, and the weight room and the training table was good to him. Kept getting bigger, and they moved him to linebacker. He can really run.
And he looks poised to rush the passer from the far side there. And here he comes around the corner, and McAdams under heavy pressure dumps it off, and it is short of his intended target, Joe Sewell out of Eastern Washington. And that is incomplete, so it'll set up a 3rd and long.
Well, you know, Sewell, there's a nice story also. This kid from Eastern Washington, he was a 6th-year player. He lost 2 seasons during his career to knee injuries. So you talk about perseverance and rehabilitating himself and fighting back for the love and desire to play college football. Sewell's a great example of that. He's a warrior.
North has to be careful now, throwing it down the field on 3rd. Obvious passing situation here from the 30-yard line, 3rd and 11. McAdams faking the draw, going deep down the middle of the field, and that one overthrown. He was looking for Michael Jenkins, who apparently didn't pick up the pass. Michael Jenkins was looking back into the backfield, waiting for the ball when it was already in the air. So that one's incomplete. It'll set up a 4th down and a punt situation. So the South gets the ball back. 1:32 showing on the clock right now, and with a kicker with the leg of Carlos Jenkins, this one may be within the South's grasp.
There's no question about it. You know, wouldn't it be ironic if the game came down to a game-winning field goal, the kicking game being the difference?
Todd Covington doesn't get a whole lot of that one off the side of his foot. It takes a fortuitous bounce for the North, and finally taken out of bounds there and down by the North squad at the 48-yard line. So not the time for Todd Covington to shank one, with his team tied in the ball game with just 1:23 to go.
And as you already made mention of, you have a field goal kicker like Carlos Leach. I mean, you're almost in his range now. You know, you only need a couple of first downs, and a guy who's kicked a 52-yarder during the course of the game, the course of the season, may win it.
South takes over in great shape for Eddie Robinson. The final 123 perhaps in just a moment. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. The man, the legend, Eddie Robinson, getting ready to enter his final year of coaching at Grambling State University. He didn't want to go out on a losing note.
You know, frankly, if I had known that asking for another year would have created so much of excitement, I probably wouldn't have asked for it. But I just would like to have a chance to start the season knowing that this is the last one, and I got a chance to have a winning season.
And a chance to win this ball game he has as well. His team in great shape at its own 48-yard line, taking over with 1:23 showing on the clock. And maybe you do try to set up the special teams once more.
Right.
And Carlos Leach, who's hit 2 37-yarders already tonight. On first down, and pretty conservative call there as Antonio Parker takes it straight up the middle, and he is met for no gain on that play. So with the clock winding down towards a minute, it'll be 2nd and long for the South. Ronnie Wilkerson was in on that tackle. Wilkerson out of Delaware State University. 105 tackles his senior season. He's been very active tonight as well.
He has just had a solid football game, Eric.
3 receivers in now for the South. 2 of them split out to the near side. And Howard stepping up in the pocket. He'll keep it now. He crosses midfield and tries to get around the corner and out of bounds. He cannot. Taken down on the play. He got across the 50 but lost yardage trying to get out of bounds. Billy Jenkins, a sure hitter, takes him down, and the clock will roll. Only 30 seconds to go in the game now.
I think let's do the players of the game here, Eric. And I guess Michael Howard and Nakia Edwards come to mind for the South. Got to go with the trigger man, Michael Howard. Had a big second half. And how about for the North? Defensively, Robert Johnson, pretty good football game. Also returned a blocked field goal, 66 yards for a touchdown. How about if we give him the nod as player of the game for the North?
I think I'll agree with you. Michael Howard certainly didn't hurt his chances to get an invite from some NFL team tonight, showing good mobility in the pocket. We have a timeout on the field by the South as Eddie Robinson trying to design a nice play to get it into field goal range and give Mr. Leach a chance to come on and win this thing after playing, especially after his team played so poorly, really, in the first half.
Right.
Let's listen in to the coach and what he's saying to his offense.
Well, having a hard time, I guess, picking up Eddie Robinson right now. But one thing that sage veteran coach knows is that the old saying, a football game is 4 quarters long. You don't get any kind of moral victory at the half. His team was down 13-0, and it was, like I said, a tale of 2 halves, like a Charles Dickens novel. The best of times, the worst of times. The first half, the worst of times for Eddie Robinson. The second half could be the best of times here, and just the flip side of it for the North.
Realistically, the South could use a gain of about 15 yards to give Leach a chance to get a game-winning field goal, and we won't have that as we get a sack in the backfield. Ronnie Wilkerson, we spoke about him a few minutes ago, and now as time winding down inside of 15 seconds on 4th down, it looks like the South, before time runs out, will try a Hail Mary type play and come away with a victory. 6 seconds to go. 5 winding down. They get the snap off, and Howard throws it up for grabs. It is intercepted on the near side and finally taken out of bounds. Billy Jenkins comes up with the interception. All zeros showing on the clock, so that'll do it for this 1997 Freedom All-Star game. It finishes Eddie Robinson of Grambling with the South squad and Joe Taylor of the North squad seeing their teams fight to a 13-13 tie in the 1997 Freedom All-Star game.
Well, I guess both teams were penalized equally. One team played well in one half, the other team played well in the other half. I guess it's fitting that this thing ends up in a tie.
Taylor told us earlier at meetings that he's met Eddie Robinson 4 times in his career and come away with 3 victories. This, the first tie between the 2 of them, and I think they probably will both feel pretty good about that when they go home tonight.
Sure, and I guess, you know, an all-star game, probably the nicest thing or the easiest thing to solve the whole issue is to let it end in a tie. Both these all-stars stepped up, and each of them really rose to the forefront for half of the football game, and there they are.
There's the warm embrace between the two coaches from the north and south. We finish in a 13-all tie, and Dave and I will be back to wrap things up from here at Texas Stadium in just a moment. Back at Texas Stadium, and fittingly, the Freedom All-Star Game, the revival of it here in 1997, finishes in a 13-13 tie with the South coming up with 13 unanswered points to walk away. I guess everybody walks away happy, not quite like kissing your sister in this.
That's true. But, you know, it was all North in the first half, all South in the second half. Eddie Robinson, whatever he said to the South at halftime, I'd like to have a tape recording for my next sales meeting because he motivated them. They came out and played well in the second half.
And he's been motivating for over 50 years. Really nice that it ends in that tie, but I'm sure in future All-Star games, both coaches would want their teams to have a lot less penalties, 200 yards worth today.
A lot less penalties, and this is kind of a microcosm of the game. A blocked field goal that is returned 66 yards for a touchdown. The kicking game was an adventure.
So for Dave Lapham, I'm Eric Clemens saying so long from Texas Stadium. The final score, the North 13, the South 13. Thanks for joining us. So long, everybody.